Welcome back, everybody, to my studio. And today is sketch and paint and ideas for your art journal, sketchbook, whatever you're using. And today I thought I would do these awesome light bulbs. Now, I did have a request for this, and this is what, hey, Devin, there you are. Well, this is what we're going to do. So it did come in the December ephemera pack. And you can still download that in the members on YouTube and on my Patreon. There's a couple downloads now. And that's why I'm basically doing these ephemera packs, is so that you are able to just look through your pages and pick something to draw and paint. These are fairly simple uh, paintings and drawings, so you should be able to do it. And if you don't want to draw at all, you could always trace these too with a piece of carbon underneath. So, looking at this, very intense colors, and if you can see it's not a soft, you can see the hard edges. So this one would actually be a really good one for alcohol inks on Yupo, and just draw on your Yupo with a marker or whatever you want to do. Or what I'm going to use is a mixed media paper. I'm not going to use a watercolor paper with this one, because I want my paint to sit on the top of the paper a little longer instead of seeping in. Now, if you have hot pressed watercolor, that would work, but I can't find mine right now. So I just have the Canson mixed media, and it's a fairly smooth paper, so you could use that. You can get different mixed media in different weights. This is a fairly lightweight, probably 90 pound, but we're going to work on that one. And like I said, you could trace this on here. You can enlarge it. Oh, no problem, Devin. I love this one. I was going to do it anyways, so. And you could enlarge yours if you want. Now, it does have December on here, but it only covers this one little area, so you could still trace. You can see what it's doing. So, to get these uniform, because they are a light bulb, they're not going to be wonky. So, just so that I don't spend too much time drawing these out and getting them exactly the right shape, um, I'm going to use some tracing paper. Or carbon paper, whatever you have. This is just carbon paper. And hopefully that's centered. Over a little bit. A bit more. Yep, that should work. And this is just a clipboard I'm using. You could use a piece of cardboard to keep it in place, whatever you want. And I'm going to take a fairly sharp pen. I don't want really thick lines, so this is just a Jelly Roll pen. I don't even know if it works anymore. And I'm going to just put in my lines. And I'll probably go and re-ink using a black ink after I'm done my watercolor. So they overlap. So we want to have a fairly transparent watercolor, because we want to see the other bulb behind it. And I'm going to do the filament that's in the center here. Not going to get too fancy, but I will put the rings like this, and then that little the wires that come down, and there's a little thing here, and then there's a little very bright area there where it shines. I'm just going to put these little thingy-madooies. So I'm just going to put a line for the wiring. Now you could try this with acrylic paint. I have done it. It's a little bit of a different process though, because you're using acrylics, so it's not going to pool like watercolor does. So little thingies that I'm not going to get too intricate with the filaments. Some you can see a little better than others. I'll leave that up to you, how detailed you want to get it. Another one. This one's kind of this one shows a little bit more detail because it's up close. And then there's that shiny part. You can put in your shine areas too if you want to. And when you're using watercolor, that'll be the areas that you don't put any water. If you have Frisket, you could put that on to save the white. I'm lazy. I don't want to spend the time letting it dry. You could probably try this with whatever colors, different colors if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be the blue and the green and the amber. It could be all pinks. It could be purples, greens. Just have fun with it. This might be even a neat way of playing with the colors of your palette too. See what they look like when they start to mix. Okay, I think I got that. So I'm just going to lift it up. Oh, missed the bulb. So this just is a little bit quicker, so I didn't have to waste your time watching me draw this all out. That one there. I think that's it. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that's our drawing. Now you can tape this down if you want. We're going to stick to just the bulbs. I'm not going to do the outside. So there's not going to be a whole lot of water going on all of the paper. So I think I'll just leave it. We'll see how much it ripples. Usually mixed media isn't too bad. Let's see. Get rid of these notifications. Ooh. Hey, Joan. So, beautiful, rich colors. Lots of amber. I hope you're seeing the amber there. Okay. Just there. And nice greens. This is more of a indigo or peacock blue type of color. That would be nice. Or indigo would probably work, but definitely a transparent, maybe Indian yellow would look nice. Or what I'm looking for, I did get a new set of core paints. So I thought we could try some of these colors out. Core has beautiful colors and they stay pretty well true to the color when you have it wet. Let's see. Quinacridone gold maybe would be awesome. Nickel azo, Darien yellow, transparent pyral orange. Let's see. Permanent alizarin crimson. Raw sienna natural. What's this one? Oops, sorry if you heard that. Let's see. This one is burnt sienna. Could almost, well, we'll try this one and then we'll go into the blues. Let's see what we got here. Neutral tint. Payne's gray. Depending on what the Payne's gray is, you could, there's a phthalo blue green shade. That might work. Cerulean blue chromium. Ultramarine blue. Okay, I don't see a peacock blue here. Let me see what I got in my palette here. I have an indigo in my palette. Let's try this phthalo blue. And we could put a little bit of purple, probably. I think I have purple here. Maybe I don't. I do have some in my palette. And we need a green. So I would say phthalo green blue shade we'll use for that. See what happens. And I do have some spare I always get these bulk from Amazon. They're great. And you can just squeeze whatever you need in it. So this is the phthalo blue green shade. You still have quite a bit. I like the tubes, and this is what I do. Squeeze the color in. I find it's more economical. But you get quite a few pans when you buy it this way. And then too, it gives you versatility as far as if you want to work with fresh paint from a tube or dried once these are dried. Because some techniques you have to have fresh tube paint. Okay. Hey, Dot, good to see you. Keep getting notifications and it's covering my chat up. Pam, good to see you all. All right, so let's do a little swatch of these three colors on a piece of paper. Um, I got a spare little piece of paper here. And a brush. Okay, this is a number 8, or I think I'll do it 6, a little bit smaller. Nope, that's an 8 too. Well, maybe I'll have to use my 6. I'll use the 8. As long as it has a nice point, then I'm happy. That's a nice point. Right, so this is the green. This is the phthalo green blue shade. So you just have, with fresh paint, just a dab, lots of water, very bright. And this is quinacridone gold. I love this color. Just a dab on my brush. Yeah, that'll be perfect color. This one's a little bit too bright. I might have to add a little bit of red for it to be, well, it might work. We'll see what the blue's like. Because it does go into the, that's a nice color, but it's still not quite that color I want. If you check out, that blue's a little bit bright. I think I'm going to have to go into more of a indigo. Let's see what this indigo is. I got an indigo in my palette here, so we'll check that out. That's a little not quite either. So I might have to put indigo with that blue to get the color I want. All right. So we'll just put these over here. Set them on my palette here. So the trick to this, if you can see a lot of hard edges. And that's wet into dry. So I don't want to wet my surface before I put my paint on, because that makes it soft looking. So we want to apply it with dry paper and your wet paint. Now, we want to keep it still not too dark that it becomes opaque. We still want that translucent look. But we are going to start off with the lighter sections first. So around the filament here is that a really soft, well, basically this color, but watered down. So the quinacridone gold, I think it was called. Yeah, quinacridone gold. So let's get a little bit of that on our brush. And again, this is already wet, so I don't need a lot on my brush or it'll be too strong. I want fairly weak. I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see my picture. I think that's better. All right, so around the filament bottom part, and pretty much on all of them. That bottom part is bright. Okay. Now I'm going to go light to dark. So I want to do these three first because they're the lighter color. So I want to add a little bit more intensity. So I'm going to add more pigment and less water. So that's dark on the top here. And again, I'm not wetting my paper beforehand. So I can still see those lines through the filament. And there's a line kind of around the base here. And just swirl it around. Leave some white for the shine. This one too, it's a little bit stronger, so I want a little bit more on my brush at the top here. And very strong down here because that's where the overlap. So the color is looking like twice the consistency. And then just kind of sweep it around, leaving some. You want hard edges, but you do want a little bit of that dark in there too. Let's do this one back here. Again, darker on the top. And when it comes around here, a little bit darker. And again, this isn't going to be exactly the way the picture is because it's almost impossible to do an exact watercolor because each time you put your paint and water on your brush, it's different. All right. Now there is a little bit around the filament of this one. So I'm just going to dab. Same with this one up here. Just, oh, look, I did the wrong one. Look at that. You guys probably didn't even notice that. Oh, well, it's going to be different. I don't know where my head was, but we'll make it work. You guys didn't even see it. All right. Then next color would be green. So this green is fairly bright. So let's see. I'm going to just put it over here. And we could actually add a little bit of yellow to that gold color. Yeah, that works. So just a little bit of that gold we just used will calm that color down a little bit. And we got some really strong areas in here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water to my brush. Get a paper towel. And I'm just going to pickle it out a little bit. And this one here has the green in it too. So it kind of goes up into there. Once we put that blue on, it's going to change. Because we're going to have the blue and the green will make another color. Bit of that. This is fairly dark on here. I'm just going to add a little bit of that there. Okay. That's not bad. Okay, let's try the blue. Now we have the phthalo blue green shade, I think it was. Yes. So let's put that over here. It's fairly bright. I want to dull that down a little bit. So I could take some of this green that we just did. Yeah, that works. A little bit more green in it. And the real intense colors, put those in first. Again, I'm not worrying about the wet bleeding into anything. Just look at your darker areas. Like that. This one here, mostly at the top, is fairly dark. We'll put that up there. Could even be darker, but we can always go back and add. I'm going to take a little bit of water on my brush, lighten it a little bit, leave some white. We want some of this yellow shining through. We want that to be mixed a little bit. If you put too much on, you can always use white Posca or wash to put highlights back in, so don't fret. All right, let's put a little bit more of this gold in again. So a little more intense up here. Down into here. Just look at your reference. A little more water on my brush. This one's got a little more around the side area here. That. A little softer in the center here, where the white is. Now this is mixed media paper, so the only thing with that is you aren't likely to get any lifting. So keep that in mind if you're wanting to lift. So this here, I'm going to water my brush. It's just a little bit too bright there. Put that in. All right. So we'll let that dry and let's do the top. Now the top is more of a, it's not black and it's not silver. It's more on the Payne's gray side, I would say, with a little bit of reflection in the highlights. So let's do some Payne's gray. I have Payne's gray by Winsor & Newton here. So Payne's gray is usually a little on the gray side, but it does have some blue. If you find it's too blue, just add some brown to it and it'll gray it down a little more. So a light coat. Look at your dark areas. So this in here. Now, this isn't golden, so it's going to fade once it's dry. So we may have to go back in and add a little bit here and there. So this one basically has a little bit of highlight, but not a lot. And you can always use your gouache too, remember that. This actually has a little bit of blue because it's reflecting off of these, I guess. And we are going to use some pen with this too. Let's put a little bit of gold on the top part here. That. And a little bit of it's a little bit of a different gray. So let's make some more of that up. We're going to have to come back in probably and add some darker areas. Like that. The filament will do a little bit of penwork and Posca. So we can take that gray again. So let's make some more of that up. Payne's gray and some brown. We can darken it, make it almost black. And it depends on the brown you're using. If you have a brown like sienna, then it'll be a little more warmer looking. So these are the strands of wire, and I'm just going to zigzag it. So it'll be a little wonky. That's fine. You can do yours as neat or messy as you want. I kind of like it this way. You could just use your pen too if you wanted to. These remind me of those really old style light bulbs. The wires were all kind of wonky. So that's what I'm doing. And then we'll use pen also back over top of it. This is just simple little drawings to improve your painting and drawing abilities. So you can't improve unless you do it. And I know I've even sat there and thought, I don't know what to draw today. That's why I like these, because you can just pick something out of, and it's already got the color for you if you're going to paint it. So let's dry this, and then I'll put another coat on. All right. So next, we'll darken. We want contrast. So this is very neutral looking as far as contrast. So if you're not sure if you have enough contrast, what you can do is take a picture of it and then change it to black and white. And you'll see if there's it looks very bland, very monotone type of look. Then you know you need some contrast to it. And it's very easy. Take the same colors you used and just intensify by making the paint a little bit thicker with pigment, or a lot of times you can just use the pigment over top of that area and it'll intensify it because it's giving a double layer, so to speak, of color. So it always gets stronger looking. And these are awesome things to have for your sketchbooks or your journals. Maybe you're keeping a diary or a planner. You can make some of these and have the caption on them, light bulb moment, or, you know, just play with it. Make them up. There's nothing better than seeing your own work in your uh, sketchbooks and your planners and knowing that you did that. And it gives you practice. Okay, and a little bit intensity of that blue again. A little bit of that green with it. So it's fairly dark and up here, down the side a little bit. You can try and move it. It might move a little bit, but it's kind of hard on mixed media paper. A little bit more down here because it would be shadowed. Okay. Then this one here, a little more intense on the top part. Down in here. Just think of that with the shape too when you're kind of playing with it. Bring some of that up. Maybe a little bit of green. There again. Yellow. This one here, a little bit of green along the edge. Maybe in here. Okay. Looks pretty good. All right. So we're going to take that black again and the bit of blue, a little more blue. We've got some really, really dark areas. So right between the ribs of those top parts of the socket. We'll use some pen too on this. So just put in what you're seeing as the darkest areas. We'll enhance that with pen. Little stripes here and there. Getting quiet is when I'm concentrating. It's interesting if you take your time too. You learn a lot by just enjoying the process of figuring things out. Don't do this to set a time because you're not going to enjoy it. It's not about rushing to finish something. It's about enjoying the process and learning. And if you're not finished or you don't have that much time, just put it away for the next time you're going to do it. A lot of times you'll see different things in it that you didn't see before. All right. Okay, so I'm going to dry that and then we're going to get the pen out. And like I said, if you have alcohol inks, this would work really well with alcohol inks if you could control the areas a little bit. So if you do have, I do have some, but they're put away. I'm not going to get them out. I don't have any Yupo paper. You'd have to have Yupo paper, or I think there's another paper you can use too. Can't think of it though. All right. So I am going to use a fairly small, that's too small, pen. Find it. There's a number 05. What's this one? It's too small. There's a 1. And that one's kind of on the last leg. Now, if you're going to, this is your last step, so to speak, you could use a regular pen. Doesn't have to be waterproof. Here, I've got this one here. This is a 0.1. This is a Faber-Castell Eco Pigment. It is it is waterproof, maximum light fastness, acid-free pigment, permanent. Now this will be nice for doing the filaments and stuff. So just basically outlining most of these. You could do a little bit more detail on them if you want. I might put a little bit of what do you call it? Gouache on it for highlights. We'll see. And then do the rings on the bulb. Or the socket, I guess. And this is where you kind of enhance detail with your pen work. I'll bring you guys in a little bit. Right. So you kind of want the lines. Just look at your reference, see where your darkest areas are. And just use your pen to enhance that. So, we have a little bit of line in there, a little more in here. Now, if the nice thing about these permanent markers, if you see something as you're doing this, and a lot of times you do, you'll spot stuff that, oh, I wish I had to put a little more color on that. You can still do that because this won't move once it's dry. So this would be a little bit darker in here. And on the bottom. I don't typically outline everything, and that's just a style preference for me. You have to find your type of style. Okay, and then we have the so it's basically just going like this. Just enhancing that so they know it's a wire. A little bit in here. Yeah, it brings it to life. Exactly, Dorothy. It just helps your eye know what it is. Sometimes you don't need to do that, though. Like, there are things that your mind will automatically register as, oh, that's this. You don't have to put any more on, but sometimes you need a little bit of help. And we can put some white Posca pen, or if you've got a really thin jelly roll would work for some highlights on these things too. That would look cool. Now the filament in this one, you just see a little bit here. So I don't have to put as much. I still see the pencil line, so that could actually be to my advantage of being a little bit of a shadowed area. Instead of having ink on there, it's kinda sets it back with just the pencil. And I think put a little bit on the bottom of this one just to bring it out a little bit. That. This one here, a little bit darker on the side. So it doesn't take much and it's fun. And as you can see, some of the lines are wonky. This is for my sketchbook, my journal, my everything book. That's what I'm calling it. So whatever it may be, it could be about my day, it could be just sketching, painting. It's all going to be in this one little book. Um, unless I have to do particular size painting or something, then I'll use my other book. But I want to try and work in this so I don't have a zillion journals. Because I find that when I have too many journals to work in, I forget about some. And then you kind of come across them and you're going, oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. And then it takes like 10 years for you to fill it. How many of you guys found journals you completely forgot about? It's easy to do. I like doing kind of sketchy pen work. I guess it would be called loose, if you want to call it that. Let's do this here. Looks super cool. Yeah. And it wasn't like horribly difficult. You just had to think about it. Study your picture before you start painting. Think about what things should I do first? What kind of paint should I use? Do I need opaque paint or do I need translucent paint? Is there something that I could use that would simplify the process? Um, like colored pencils or pen. S- I I'm in mixed media. I love mixed media, and I think it's a gift to artists to say I can use whatever I want. If it's gonna give me the look or accomplish something that would take forever or very difficult to do, and if it's gonna improve the way I do things, why not use it? It's still art. Still, I don't believe in the it's not art because you used something else besides just watercolor or oil or whatever. I think we get too involved in rules. I don't know why we did that, but because really, there should be no rules in art. Okay, this one I see a little bit more detail in the. Might have to get some gouache in here to lighten some of the areas. Um, 'Cause you see a little bit more detail in this one. So do you guys like mixed media, or you tend to stay to the purity of the medium that you're using? Only that? Let's see. There. Middle. I love mixed media. Yeah. You like it too? Yep. Yeah, there's just something about it. I don't know. All right, so that's that for now. And let's see what kind of pen we can find here. I think I brought down some white ones somewhere. There's one of these. Let's see if it still works. Yep. Okay. This is one of those Signal Mitsubishi. So we have a light area around those. Looks like the threading on a screw. And the thing with these pens is not to press too hard. They seem to work better if you keep a fairly light touch. So just, let's see. These are kind of picky about their surface they go on, though. I find, anyways. Maybe you guys find them okay on acrylic and that type of thing. I don't know. Now, I do have a dip pen where I use, let's see, I have bleed proof, Doc Martens bleed proof white, and that one's not. Let's see, it stopped. And Indian inks, they work on any surface. Okay. Let's see. Get the notifications out of the way. There we go. And then we've got also some white areas that kind of go down certain areas here. Put in some areas in between. And then don't forget your little filaments. There's some lighter areas in here too. It doesn't have to be exact, but just enhance where the let's start. Let's see. It's still not writing. Let's try another one. Ink or acrylic pen. marker. Let's try this one. Yep, that'll work. So this had a little bit of a white area. And a little bit of white in here, coming up the center. And then there's some white spots on the, if you put too much, you can always use the Posca or whatever you have on hand. Just to put in some of that brightness. That. And this one here. A little bit that white in there. A little bit up there and on there. Just play with it. Look at your shine areas and just, you don't have to be exact, but try and put some of it in. I like smearing it sometimes. Sometimes I want it a little blended. So you can just put your finger over it. Like that. Put your finger on it. And it just calms it down a little bit when you do that. Real bright areas, just leave it. And then this one here, it's got that bright area. Like that. Just play. A little bit of a bright area in there. Filament might have a little bit on it, but not much. Just because that one is up front, makes most of the detail will be a little more noticeable. A little mark there, a little mark there. That. And then this one. I'm not doing exactly as the picture, but close. Okay, a little more on the bottom here. That one in there has a little bit too. So the ones that are overlapping, let's see what, yeah, I forgot to put that in. Have a little bit too, but they're a little not as powerful looking. And right there. And look at the way they're curved too, because that makes a difference. Depending on the form of your shape. A little bit of a filament. It's actually got a little bit of shine on it. Not as powerful, so I just touch it, take some of that whiteness away. This one would have a little bit more shine to it because it's close. So you're seeing a little more detail. Again, not strong, just a bit. A little curve to that one there. A little bit more powerful white certain areas. In here. There. Mm. That. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then you could also put a little bit going down these. Keep them going the same direction though. I'm not worried about the um, ink lines that I put on there. I'm just going right over top of them. It just gives it a little bit of a shine so that you're kind of your mind's eyes telling you, yes, that's a highlight. That'll indicate the way they're twisting too. If you keep the highlight the same. This helps. You could get really, really specific about that, but yeah, I just wanted to have fun. Show you guys that you can play with your stuff and just enjoy the process of doing these. More in here. There. So that is for this book here. I can actually cut it. This is the everything book. So whatever I'm doing, mostly streaming, is going to go into this book and maybe document parts of my day. Let me take you out a little bit. So we started, and I'm only using my jelly prints because I have to use them up because I have a zillion of them and they're just sitting there. So you can use whatever you want on them. That's actually one of the birds from the ephemera pack. I think it's this month's ephemera pack. So I'm using the backgrounds to emphasize whatever I'm putting on. So sometimes I'm going to draw, sometimes I'm going to paint. This is the one we did last week, the little snowman. Use the background to my benefit. So this one here, if you don't know what, and they don't have to go in order. As long as you're labeling or marking the date down, that's all you need. So I could put this one, let's see, on here somewhere, or you could also have it this way too. Doesn't have to stick on a certain page. Or how about this one? We could cut it. Where did I put? I'm going to cut it on the guillotine. I'll be right back. Okay. I just cut it down so it'll fit on my page. And we could put it just like that, or we could put it like that and just glue it in. Then we can emphasize it or whatever, or if you find you could stick it on one of the other pages. You do whatever you want to do. Black page, a little bit of like that. I think I'll put it on there. I could cut them out too. Okay, let's put it. Yeah, we'll put it on here. So this is where I get down rabbit holes. As I get picky about where I'm going to put stuff. That overlaps a bit. So maybe I could cut off that a little bit more, I think. That's better. So then I can just put it like that, light bulb moment, or what do you think? What should I do? Should I cut it out? I could. Why not? It's just paper. Hey, Sharon. Thanks. I'm just going to cut it out. I'll do a little bit of edge on it. I'm not going to cut out between the lines, though, the wires. But I am going to just do one side. And then I'll glue it on. See where we can put it. I'm just leaving a little bit of a white line. And like I said, you could use these for when you journal about something. Maybe you got a great idea or saw something that was really cool. Then you could draw one of these and paint it up as a light bulb moment. And that could be the one thing you have common in your year. Or maybe you want to document when you have the dog go to the groomers. So you put scissors, draw some scissors. Or make your own little emojis or whatever you want to call them for what you do. So it's kind of like a planner, but you're also using it as a inspiration book. You could do your swatches in this too. Although I think I'm terrible at swatching. I just don't do it. I don't know why. Here. So I could just have it like that. I could take copies of this and use it elsewhere. See? Now it can fit wherever I want. You could have it as a flip and write something underneath it. Just use it. Use it up. That one's kind of cool there. Kind of the same colors. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it there too. Where do you think I should put it? The green goes with the green. Could be a full spread. Or Sharon. Did I say Shannon? It is where is she? Yeah, it is Shannon. I thought I said your name wrong. I hope I didn't. Yes, on the green page. This one? Or this one? Oh, wait. Back page. Either one? Back page. This one? I think I might be a little bit bright for you guys. Let me just change my exposure a little bit. Oh dear. Let's see. For some reason, my camera's been played with. Can't change the lighting right now. I meant either on the green pages, but you do. I know. This is me. I can't make my mind up. I like that one too. 2-page spread. Center. White page next to the other green page. White page. This one? Oh, this one. Yeah, that's a nice one. Too messy. I like this one. I think it's this one, guys. All right. Then I could make it so that I flip it. Then I could write stuff underneath. No, the other one. That's the trouble with the leg. Let's do this one. I found it. It's going to be this one. Now, where's my tape that I could use? Where'd my Scotch tape go? Oh, no, that's not it. Oh my gosh, I had Scotch tape out here and now it's gone. because I really want it to lay. Well, I guess I could make a I'll just make a hinge. It looks perfect. Thank you. So we'll just make a hinge. So you guys like that idea of making your own kind of symbols and emojis for your journals? I'm just going to use some score tape. And I don't have a pick to get these up. So if you guys are interested in jelly printing, check out Devin Rex for art. She's in the chat. Devin, put your link up. She does fantastic jelly printing if you're interested in that. Oh, that should be a little longer. Shoot. Oh, well. So I'll have to put a little piece of paper over top of that so it doesn't interfere with the other page. Because this is what I'm doing. I'm using this as my art journal or sketch journal book. Just to show you don't need to go out and get a sketchbook or an expensive journal. You could use what you have already. Even if you have a bunch of copy paper that on one side's got a bunch of print on it, and if it doesn't have print on the other side, use the other side. That way, you're saving some money, and I'm all about that. And you can buy more art supplies if you need it, because you just save the money on the paper. And if you want to do watercolor, you can still use watercolor, but just glue it in. So it's all in one spot. You are very sweet. No, you're fantastic, Devin. And Devin, actually, tomorrow, Wednesday, at 2:30 is when she streams. So check her out. She's awesome at jelly printing and stencil stuff. Yes, it's on my list for 2024. I bought a new jelly prints set and roller and have not tried it yet. Working on my scavenger hunt right now. Awesome, Pam. You will love it. It is so much fun. It's very addictive. There's so many ways you can use your gel print plate. You could use stencils. I use a lot of actual flowers and leaves, which give awesome stencils. Here's a few. So these are stencils put on. These are leaves. Stencil and leaf. These are just a lot of them, like this one here. This is actual tissue paper. I'm a gardener, so I love working with plants. There's some more. And there's so many ways of layering. You can also use black and white magazines, and the way the paint reacts to the print on the magazine, you will leave a print. Devin is great at that, so check her out for those. This is actually fabric, lace that left a print. So household items, you got texture on it, try it on your jelly print. Doesn't have to be specific things for just your plate, jelly plate. Here's another one of leaves. This is actually a weed. This one, another bunch of leaves, different layers. It's fun. So I have a bunch of videos also on faux botanical eco prints, I think it's called. So check those out, videos. Even paper towels. Yeah, exactly. Paper towels leave all kinds of prints. Any kind of fabric, actually. Whatever has a texture. Try it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to probably, I think I'll just put right here. So today is 1/9/24. And I could take a black marker and write about how I did this to keep, maybe I want to keep track of the colors I used. That's another thing you can do. With your gel prints, you could even put the kind of paint and the colors that you used and what you put on first, second, and third. A paper that it was, there's so many ways of doing this. And this, I love doing these types of books because then you have an interactive book that you can play with. And this one here is just loose papers. So this is an elastic. So after I'm done January, I can either leave it like this, or I could actually sew it so it doesn't move at all. It's up to you. But I like to have this done first in case I don't want to work in the book. Then I can take the paper out, because sometimes it's a lot easier just to take one paper out and do whatever it is you're doing with it than try to maneuver a book. So that's why I've put 4 sets. There's actually 2 elastics. Well, it was 1, but I just looped it. And this will be for the entire year, I hope. And I might have to add another elastic to some of them. We'll see. All right. So that was my suggestion for today, is use the printouts that I have here. And they're in the membership and on my Patreon. And look for more coming. And use these for your drawing. I will be doing some more acrylic painting too, but I always do those on a Thursday. Tuesdays is more about this type of thing, drawing and watercolor. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll give these a try. And You don't have to show anybody. Just do some drawing to improve your skill and confidence, and you'll find that you can do pretty well anything once you get confident enough to try drawing whatever it is you're looking at. But you have to do it. That's the big thing. You have to do it in order to, exceed. It's like anything else, gardening, cooking, dancing, singing. You have to practice, but enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then don't do it. All right, so I'll let you guys go, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and, give these a try. I think you'll enjoy it. So get your, jelly prints, make a book, and, we'll see you Thursday. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I'm heading towards fairies again. I have a whole bunch that I wanna draw and paint, so we'll see. So, take care, everyone, and see you on Thursday. Bye for now.